Alright, this is Boxing with the Truth, and I am the Truth, and it's March 8th, 2015, and we are here today with former world champion Glen the Road Warrior Johnson. How you doing today, Glen?
I'm good, man. How about you?
Well, I appreciate you taking time to do the interview with me. Are you down in Florida right now?
Yes, in Miami.
Okay, you must be liking that.
Loving it. I'm watching the news at the rest of the country and everybody on the ice, so I'm loving what's going on here now.
Are you still training out of Danny Hawk's Normandy gym?
No, I train at in Kendall.
Okay. Now I just wanted to let everybody know you actually are 46 years old now and you are still active, right?
Yes, sir. 46 years old, and not the ones was, but you know, I'm still out for IR for the right price.
Okay, and I want to just, your record is actually 54 wins with 37 knockouts, 20 losses with only 2 knockouts and 2 draws.
Yes, sir.
And you actually have really fought in 5 different divisions. You fought cruiserweight, light heavyweight, super middleweight, middleweight, and welterweight.
Yes, sir.
And I just want to touch on your titles real quick. And the reason why is because, you know, you get a lot of comments from critics kind of, I don't know, I think they don't really give you the respect you deserve in this sport, and I'm not sure exactly why, but I'm going to get to that in a minute. You actually have had the IBA light heavyweight title, the IBO lightweight, the ring lightweight, heavyweight, I'm sorry, the light heavyweight, the IBF light heavyweight, the USBA light heavyweight, the WBO Intercontinental Super Middleweight, and the WBC Continental America's Super Middleweight title. I mean, that's a lot of titles.
Okay.
So, okay, you turned pro in 92, and like I said, you're still active in 2015. That's pretty impressive. I just want to go over a few names, a few of your opponents on your record. I mean, you fought Bernard Hopkins, Sid Vanderpool, Omar Shika, Clinton Woods, Roy Jones Jr. Obviously, everybody that's a boxing fan is aware of that fight. Antonio Tarver, Montel Griffith, Chad Dawson, Yusef Mack, Tavares Cloud, Alan Green, Carl Froch, Sam Gar, Lucien Boutte, and your last fight, excuse me, was Eric Skolgan. And the funny thing is, Eric Skolgan is actually 23 years old, and you only lost a decision to him. You're fighting guys that you're 20 years older, and you're going to the decisions with these guys still and everything. So you must keep yourself in top shape.
Yeah, I stay in good shape, and my skills are still pretty good. So with these younger guys, the only thing these guys have over me is youth. There's not that they have boxing skills and all of those things. They just have youth, and that's irreplaceable.
And you actually didn't even have that big of an amateur background. I mean, your record was 35-5, but you did win. You were a 2-time Florida State Golden Glove champion.
Yes, I started boxing when I was 20 years old. Just walking boxing and trying to lose weight, and start doing stuff, and training took a lot into me, and
Okay, I just want to briefly touch on your trilogy with Clinton Woods. Is that one thing in your overall boxing history that a lot of people recognize you for besides the Roy Jones Jr. fight, your trilogy with Clinton Woods?
That fight, those fights was a very tough fight. They fight it in a guy named Mayfield that believes and the crowd is driving.
Okay, now, do you have any type of relationship now with Clinton Woods? Because I know some boxers, after they've been in the ring so many times with the same guy, they kind of build a relationship.
No, I don't have any relationship with him. I mean, he's all the way over there in England. I saw him here in the States once, and we spoke for a while, and that was it. You know, but as far as like a long relationship, you know.
Okay, let's move on to the Roy Jones fight. Everybody's aware of it. At least anybody that's a boxing fan is aware of it. Obviously, you were an underdog going into this fight, but you yourself in your camp, did you believe when you were going in that ring that you could beat Roy Jones Jr., the big name at the time? Did you honestly in your own self believe that you could knock this man out?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I definitely thought I was able to beat Roy Jones just because of the style of fight and my style of fight. And I know those two styles. My style should win if, you know, just if I put the effort in it. And, you know, effort is the one thing no one can accuse me of lacking.
Well, no, I give you credit on that because you always come to fight, and like I said, 46 years old, and you're fighting these guys that are 20 years younger than you, and you're still making them. If they win, they got to earn the win. So, no, I've never seen a lack of effort from you in a fight. That's definitely true. But when you, I mean, honestly, when you knocked out Roy Jones with that punch, did that even surprise you a little bit?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I never really thought that. You know, the punch that I threw wasn't a knockout punch. I threw a punch trying to touch the hook. And by the time I been back, he was already on his way down. So I really didn't expect that punch was going to knock him out, but I expected it was going to be the one to knock him out. But he was already on his way down by then.
So let me ask you something. If you didn't knock out Roy Jones in that fight, let's say you only beat him by a decision or even didn't win at all, do you think your career after that fight would have been different?
Yeah, I think it would have been different because I believe that he would have gave me a rematch. You know, so you know, I would have had a different path. You know, for at least with Roy Jones, they would have fought more than one time, but just because of that knockout, and it was such you know, brutal knockout. That's the word. Many words you could use there, but that's the word you chose to use. I think that kind of, you know, cut off all of that negotiation, rematch and all of that stuff. He never had any interest in doing it again, so that kind of changed the course of my career where I have to start looking all over the world for opponents.
Why didn't Roy Jones ever ask for a rematch?
I mean, only right now to answer that question. I mean, I really don't know. I really thought we would have done it again. I understand he went and he fought and told me, okay, after that, Roy Jones fight Matonga, lost to Tava, and then he fought Matonga, and he lost to Tava as well. I figured the fight to make would have been the Glen Johnson and Roy Jones again, but when the winner of that fight the Tava again, and that's how I thought it went when everything unfolds that way. But it never manifested. You know, Tava didn't want to fight me again for the third time. We fought the first time and won me for the second time, and he won, and he changed course. He never wanted to do the third fight. Like Jones never wanted to do the second fight. So Canada need to now start looking for other opponents, and everybody looked who was always younger. You know, those were the guys in my age group. You know, that was me, Tava, Jones, Bernard Hopkins. You know, we're all around the same age group, and none of those guys wanted to fight me again. So I was just left to scrap with the young guys.
Okay, you just brought up Bernard Hopkins, so let's talk about him briefly. He actually, from what I've read, that a statement that you made, he actually was the first person to ever tell you that you would be a world champion?
Yeah. years passed by, and he came here to Miami with some fun, and we went over there and spurred him. I don't remember what fight he was getting ready for, but after we finished sparring, he told me, he said, "Yeah, you're going to be a world champion." Nobody had ever said that to me before, so. That was something like I was felt inside myself, but coming from somebody else, and coming from a man of his stature at that time, already a world champion, already been in boxing for a long time, and I know everything about boxing. That really meant a lot to me, so I appreciate that, him saying that.
Okay, and the other thing is, I read an article that you commented in 2009. And it's 2015 now, that you have always wanted that rematch with Hopkins. Do you still want that rematch with Hopkins?
Oh, I definitely want that rematch with Hopkins. But, it's not looking like it's going to happen now. And, so many years have gone by. Bernard now maybe fight another money fight. I think that's what he's going to look for and retire. So, that hope is kind of withering thing right now.
But
I was really high a few years ago, but not so much now. I don't know what's going to happen.
okay, so I mean, if you retired tomorrow and you look back at your career, are you satisfied with your career, everything that you've accomplished, and everybody that you fought?
Yeah, I know my career. There's only two fights that I wish that I could do. I wish I'd have the rematch with Bernard Hopkins, and I wish I'd get the chance to fight Sylvain Hockey. Not Sylvain Hockey, what's his name, the guy in England? I can't remember his name now. But I wish I got a chance to fight him, which I didn't. We had like 3 dates to fight each other, and he ended up canceling all 3 of them, and we never fight. So those are the only 2 fights that I could really say I wish would have happened in my career.
Okay, now I want to ask you about...
Joe Calzaghe, now I remember his name, Joe Calzaghe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now I want to ask you, I don't know how you, every boxer reacts different to their critics and the comments that they make about them. So you seem to be a pretty tough-minded guy, so I want to hear what you have to say about a couple comments from a couple different critics on you. How do you feel when they say that you're an overrated boxer?
I don't really have anything. I don't really feel any way about it. That's somebody's opinion. Feel I'm overrated. That's fine. That's nothing wrong with it. Everybody have your own. I have opinion about things that I'm probably wrong about as well. So,
okay.
No one is perfect.
And what about now that you're 46 years old? I read an article where a boxing writer said, obviously you're not the same Glen Johnson because you're 46, but he said, I don't understand why he's still fighting, because when he gets to about the 9th round, he just hits the wall.
I don't even know how to respond to that, because, I'm 46 years old. If you know how to do all the things he was doing, when he was a young man and can do it the same way as 46 or whatever, then I tell him to let me know how he able to do that, and so I can copy the same thing and probably get moving.
Okay, and then just one more. I read a statement that said the Glen Johnson versus Lushan Butte was the biggest joke in boxing history. How do you feel about that?
Well, I don't know about that. That sounds a little ridiculous to me. I've seen it fight a lot worse than my fight with Butte. I didn't think my fight with Butte was all that bad. So if
No, I agree with you. When I read that statement, I thought the same thing. I thought, boy, this guy must not watch a lot of boxing if he thinks that's one of the biggest joke fights in history, because I'm sure I could find a lot more worse than that fight.
Yeah, no, sometimes when you hear people speak ridiculously, you just have to laugh at it, because you really can't take somebody that ridiculous seriously, because you know that more than likely they probably say something ridiculous to get attention. That is the way to do things in our modern days. Is the sillier you keep these, the more attention you get. So that's really how I see that. But so usually it's hard to make something like that get under your skin if you know that's like somebody say, oh, the sky's red, and seriously trying to convince you that the sky's red. You just have to feel pity for the person who's saying that.
Okay, and I want to talk to you. You were in the Super 6 World Boxing Classic. How did you feel about that type of tournament style, and do you think that boxing nowadays needs more of that type of thing so that the top guys will fight each other?
Oh, definitely. I mean, anything that put the best fighters together is always the best for the sport. I mean, you know, anything in sports, the best always need to face each other for it to elevate. You know, the best race car drivers drive against each other. The best NBA teams play each other. The best NFL teams play each other. The best tennis players play each other. So, yeah, you always want to see the best compete, and that's what elevates sports. So, I'm always in support of those tournaments.
So you think that boxing should come up with more of those?
Oh, definitely. I mean, it was just as recently as last night. We have boxing back on local TV. Network. I was excited to see that. So, if we really put our heads together and try to put boxing where it's supposed to be, and for people to start paying attention again, I mean, that's only going to benefit the sport. It might not benefit the individual fighter, but it will definitely benefit the sport, because, we can all protect one fighter and maximize that fighter payday, but at the end of the day, the sport falling off where, it's getting lost. I mean, you can't find boxing anywhere in any papers, anything. You just have to go on a boxing log to really find anything about boxing. Before, boxing was on, in everything.
No, I agree with you. I definitely agree with you on that point. Do you have any superstitions or rituals or habits that you do before a fight?
Nah, superstition is for crazy people.
What do you want people to say when you do finally retire? What do you want people to look back and say about you and your career?
Oh, man, people can say whatever they want. I mean, I'm not really, the only thing that I know for myself, I don't know if people want to say that, I fought anybody, I'm willing to fight anybody, I fight them anywhere, and, I was always about the competition. I fought because I wanted to make a living, and that was my main goal, and, when I have a decent career for a guy that started boxing at 20 years old. Most guys are already world champion at 30 years old, and that's when I started. So, I'm pretty pleased with myself, and hopefully people who watch me fight you please as well, and if they're not, my apologies.
Okay, and I'm just going to end the interview then with this last question. I know you've seen so many different things in boxing, behind the scenes, in the ring. You've had your ups and downs. So if you were to give advice to a kid right now that was turning pro, what would you tell him?
Well, it depends on where the kid is from. If we're talking about an American kid, I would say to him, try and make the Olympics if you can, because the Olympics is a big deal. It will propel your career more than half the journey that you have to take other ways. If you just, some guy that maybe wanna
Okay. And anything you want to say to your fans and your supporters, Glenn?
To say I love them and they're the best fans in the world.
Okay. And with that, the truth has spoken.